What's up, everyone? Welcome to another lovely episode of Variant Live. It's been a busy week here at Variant. A lot of people have been sick here at work at Variant, so it's made things a little hard. But that's why we only got 2 episodes out last week instead of 3. But this following week, things should get back to normal. But flu's going around, so that's not the best. But we'll try to keep it back to 3 episodes this week. And let me adjust the camera right quick. Hold on, guys. Make it a little better. See if that worked. There you go. There you go. It's a little more live. Don't you just love doing things live? But yeah. So last week, again, like I said, a lot of people here at Variant got sick, and some are actually out of town right now doing some other projects. So that's the reason we only had 2 episodes last week instead of 3. Hopefully, this week things will get back to normal. Obviously, it's Monday. We're doing Variant Live. That's that's what we always do. Hopefully, Wednesday or Thursday we'll have another episode up, and then Saturday we should have the final episode of the week up. So I think we're on track to be back with the normal 3 episodes, which is usually, those of you who don't know, it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Those are usually the targets we always try to hit. Sometimes life happens, so Wednesday episode will go up on Thursday, and if it's like hot news, Saturday episode will go up on Friday. So just bear with us. But we're after the holidays and this whole flu season and stuff. We're getting back into the swing of things, and we're still going to be doing that video sometime probably during the end of this month, end of January, beginning of February, where we pretty much tell you guys what we're going to be planning for 2018. I know we were supposed to do that the very first Variant Live of 2018, but again, with everyone getting sick and people coming back from work out of the holidays, we're kind of just getting into back into the rhythm of things. So by the end of January, beginning of February, we should have a solidified plan to share with you guys. Just to let you guys know how the channel is going to be growing, what's going to be changing, what new additions we're going to have, what events we'll be attending, what kind of things we'll be doing. Lots of cool surprises and fun stuff to happen for 2018. But with that rambling aside, I hope you guys have a lovely week. Hello, hi all of you. But we got some cool news this week. I went through all the comic book news and comic book movie news and stuff, and picked out what stood out to me the most. I may have missed some things, but this is some of the stuff that stood out to me. So I'm going to talk about them. As always, I'm going to go through the list, the bullet points of things, and then open up for Q&A at the end. Do some Q&A with you guys, per usual. Okay, but the first bit of info that I'm going to talk about today is Brian Michael Bendis is taking over Action Comics with issue 1000. That's crazy. As you guys know, a while back, Jeff Johns and DC announced that Brian Michael Bendis is leaving Marvel and coming over to DC to do a book. And at that time, we didn't know what the heck, if it was going to be multiple books, a book, or what he was doing. And just recently, it was announced that he will be doing Action Comics, which is pretty cool, but kind of makes me a little bit sad at the same time. Excuse me, got a little burp. I just had some lunch. Sorry about that. Kind of gross, I guess. Anyway, he's taking over Action Comics. Again, it's kind of sad because Dan Jurgens has currently been doing Action Comics. I believe he's been doing it since the beginning of DC Rebirth, and I've been loving Action Comics. Has been one of my favorite titles of DC Rebirth. It's been awesome. So it's kind of like bittersweet because I'm sad to see him go, because I've loved every storyline he's done with DC Rebirth and Action Comics thus far. The whole double Clark Kent thing, the Lex thing, the Jor-El thing that's more recent with the twist, and now we're in the Booster Gold story. So it makes me kind of sad because I've been loving his writing. I mean, Dan Jurgens is the guy who killed off Superman way back when, so it's kind of bittersweet or sad to see him go, because again, I've been really enjoying it. But Brian Michael Bendis is a fantastic writer. With that said, though, he has done some stuff in recent years with Marvel that's a little bit questionable, I guess some people would say. But I mean, you can't deny his track record. I mean, the guy did Ultimate Spider-Man. He's House of M. He's done Spider-Woman, Secret Invasion, all new X-Men, Secret Invasion, just New Avengers, Daredevil. The list goes on. The guy has done some awesome things, created amazing characters. So I mean, his track record, there's no denying it. So I mean, I'm just very curious to see what he's gonna do with Action Comics, because again, like Dan Jurgens is very has such close ties to Superman. I mean, again, the whole death of Superman, like co-creating Doomsday, just all that stuff. Like, he is one of the most, best Superman writers and, prolific writers out there, I would say. I mean, I know a lot of people have their gripes with Dan Jurgens. I'm not saying he's a flawless writer by any means, but I think a lot of people would agree. I mean, it's Dan Jurgens. I mean, he's very close to Superman. I've been enjoying all of his DC stuff. So it's gonna be sad, for me personally, to see him go. If you guys are looking for a good Superman book to read, though, want some reading recommendations, I know this isn't a history of episode, but if you want some Superman reading, I recommend going back to the very first issue of DC Rebirth, and then catching up to current. But it's kind of crazy that they would give Brian Michael Bendis, though, issue 1000 of Action Comics. That's insane to give him. I wonder if Dan Jurgens is pissed about that, because it's like issue 1000. That's, like, not many comic book series hit like issue like 100, let alone 1000. So that's a big deal, guys, to do issue 1000 of Action Comics. So this has gonna be, I would imagine, has to be some huge storyline coming up with Superman because of this, because that's just all kinds of insane. It's issue 1000. That's a milestone, man. That's pretty crazy. So again, I'm excited to see Bendis take over, but I'm sad to see Jurgens go. Hopefully we get that old school Bendis, and he does some amazing stuff, because he's definitely capable of doing amazing stories, creating awesome characters, because let's face it, he's done that time and time again. So yeah, I'm excited, but sad to see sad to see Jurgens go, and hope Bendis does some amazing stuff and even creates some awesome characters for the Superman DC universe. I'm curious to see if he does other titles too in DC. I could only imagine they're gonna give him more titles. This guy's like used to writing like 5 titles at a time. Anyway, let's move on to some more comic book news. Frank Thierry, talking about writers taking over comic books. Frank Thierry will be taking over Harley Quinn with issue 35, I believe. As you guys know or don't know, Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner, who they're actually married. Jimmy Palmiotti was the writer, and Amanda Conner was the artist, and they worked on Harley Quinn for the last several years. And they were married. They've been working on Harley Quinn. They launched the Harley Quinn book, I believe, in the New 52, towards the end of the New 52, which carried over into DC Rebirth, or they renumbered it in DC Rebirth. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, they've been writing Harley Quinn series since, I believe, 2013, 2014, a lot of years. So that's a big deal, too, to see them go. But Frank Thierry, bro. Frank Thierry is an awesome writer. If you guys don't know, Frank Thierry, most recently for DC, he did, I believe, Murder Machine, the Dark Knight's Murder Machine one-shot, and the Devastator one-shot for DC's Metal. And those were two. Murder Machine was, I think, my third favorite out of the whole thing, which it was just great. And Devastator was good as well, but Murder Machine was really, really good. But if you don't know, he's pretty much most known for Wolverine. He's done some good stuff with Wolverine. He's done Deadpool, some Iron Man. What else has he done? For DC, he's done Gotham Underground, again, DC's Metal recently. And I think he did some JSA Classified stuff. But anyway, Frank Thierry is a fantastic writer. I've actually interviewed him at a New York Comic Con a few years back. Super, super nice guy. He's like 100% like that Bronx New Yorker, where he kind of talks like this. You know what I'm talking about? He's like, yeah, I like comic books. I talk like this. That's a horrible New York accent or talk. I know. I never claimed that was good, but I did it to get it across. He's like, I love, because at the time he was writing Black Knight for Marvel. He's like, I love Black Knight. It's a new character. I get to do a lot of cool things. Bada bing, bada boom. He's literally that stereotype, and he's like hilarious. Like, people at DC and Marvel always make fun of him, where he's like just the generic like New Yorker guy, like Italian from the Bronx. Like, he should have been in Sopranos. He's amazing. You can actually go look it up on a past variant video. If you look up New York Comic Con. Forget what year. If you just variant Frank Thierry or variant Black Knight, I'm sure it'll come up. If you look for it on YouTube, interviewed him like 2 or 3 years back. Super nice guy. But I'm very excited to see him, because he's been working for Marvel for a very long time, a while. So it's actually nice to see him at DC, because, vice versa. When people have been working at DC for a while, it's nice to see them go to Marvel and stuff, and, kind of trade off, see what they would do with the different universes characters. But he's a fantastic writer, very funny guy, very likable. And he did a fantastic job with, Dark Knight's Metal, like I said recently. So I'm very curious to see what he will be bringing to Harley Quinn. So I'm excited for that. Again, issue 35. Let me look when that comes out, so you guys know if you're curious to see when his run comes out. 7. Let's see. What's today's date? Okay, so his comes out January 17th. Look at that. January 17th is when his comes out. Issue 35 of Harley Quinn. And yeah, it's Man Batter Up Part 1. So if you guys want to check out the new creative team on Harley Quinn, it starts with issue 35 on January 17th. Now, that's the actual comic book news I'm going to talk about today, because there's a lot of trailers that released last week that are comic book related. They're not actual comic books, but they're comic related. So I'm going to talk about that for a second. As you guys know, it's actually in the title of this video, Krypton, the first, or I guess second teaser? Is it the first teaser, second teaser? I don't know. The 1 minute and 6 second teaser was released for Krypton last week. So I'm sure many of you would like to know my thoughts. So that's what I'm going to give you. Overall, I mean, it's a very short teaser. Again, it's like 1 minute and 6 seconds long. It pretty much just gives us the premise of the show. I thought it looked cool. I mean, again, it looks like a sci-fi show. The special effects actually look better than I thought they would, at least for what they showed in that teaser or trailer. The premise is a little weird, though, of the show. Like, I've been skeptical with the show from the beginning, just because it's focusing on Superman's grandfather, right? So Jor-El's dad, I believe. So I don't know, that's kind of weird. Like, I feel like if you're gonna go that route and not, like, you know, have a show about Superman, like, maybe do it, like, you know, on, like, Jor-El at least, like his dad, you know? I don't know. I feel like it could have been more interesting, like, being about Jor-El and not, like, you know, Superman's grandfather. But I could be totally wrong. Again, I haven't seen the series yet. They could prove me 100% wrong, but, you know, what I'm thinking beforehand is that it's a little weird to do a show about his grandfather. Now, I guess the premise is a character comes back who I believe is Adam Strange. You see it in the trailer. He's got the baseball cap and the hoodie on, and he's like, you know, there's villains coming back to destroy Krypton, so, you know, the world's greatest hero never exists. So I believe that's Adam Strange, you know, time travel and all that stuff. And I would think maybe Brainiac is the one. I don't know. You see like that weird ship with all tentacles and stuff, so maybe it's Brainiac. Not sure, but the premise is basically they're going back in time to destroy Krypton before Superman was ever born, so he can never be sent to Earth before it blows up. So I guess that's the premise of the show. But with that, too, is kind of weird, because if that's going to be the main focal point of the show, like, how much longevity does that have? Like, that's probably like a season or 2 if you stretch it. Like, I don't know, like, where are you going to go from there? Like, how long can you make this show about Superman's grandfather? Like, I don't know. I don't know more than you guys do, but I've just seen the trailer, so maybe they have plans and they're going to bring in this character, or maybe the first season will be his grandfather and they'll shift to Jor-El, and they'll do it like, you know, as time goes on, like his grandfather maybe dies after the first season, then Jor-El takes over, and, you know, they'll finally end the series, you know, depending how many seasons it goes, with Superman being sent to Earth. I don't know. It's just, the premise is really weird to me, but the show, I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's not like mind blowing to me, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's not, again, the premise is just kind of, I think a lot of people would agree. The premise is just like, really, that's what you decided to do with the Superman show? But it could be good. I hold all final judgment until I watch like the first 2. I give like TV shows like 2 or 3 episodes. Like, obviously I could like gauge the first episode, but like there's a lot of shows where you have to get invested with the characters and the stories to see, you know, where it's going to go, if you actually like it. So I'll give Krypton like 2 or 3 episodes before I give you a final verdict on my opinion once, you know, it premieres on, I believe, Sci-Fi. But yeah, as for now, I mean, it's kind of interesting, I guess. Again, if I were them, I would have probably chose a different character in the Superman universe to go with if you want to do a Superman-based show. Also, another thing that's weird with the show, or not necessarily weird, what's got me kind of thinking, like, I would imagine this isn't part of the CW universe, like with the Arrow show, Flash, Black Lightning coming out Tuesday. I'd imagine it's its own thing, but the logos they're using is very much the Man of Steel logo and the DCEU Superman logo. So maybe this could be like their first show that's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff, where, you know, how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in continuity or tied to the MCU. Maybe this is tied to the DCEU. I don't know, that's me completely guessing, but the Superman logo is extremely similar to the Man of Steel logo and BVS logo and Justice League Superman logo. So, I mean, I don't know. That stood out to me. I'm sure many of you guys thought of that as well. Moving on, let's see. Because that's not the only trailer we got. We also got the Teen Titans Go trailer. Teen Titans. You know what's funny? Like, obviously, you guys know this is what I do. I talk about comics and comic-related stuff all the time. This one slipped under the radar for me. I did not know this was even a thing until the trailer was released last week. Like, either that or I forgot. Because, like, I had no idea that a Teen Titans Go movie was even happening until I go on my Twitter feed. I'm like, oh, there's a trailer for Teen Titans going to the movies or to the movies. I'm like, wow, they're getting a theatrical release movie. Crazy. I did not know that. So that's cool. Anyway, I watched the trailer. And it's cool. I mean, it's kind of like the whole Teen Titans deal. Like, I personally don't watch Teen Titans like religiously. I'll watch it, every now and then when it's on. But it's a DC superhero show that's meant for like a younger kid audience. Like, obviously cartoons are for kids, but you guys know what I mean. There's no it's not like a Young Justice or Batman the Animated Series where it's pretty much for all ages. This is kind of more geared specifically for a younger audience, or if like parents watch with their kids, because it's there's no real like overlapping storyline like throughout a whole season or 2 seasons, like again like Young Justice or Batman the Animated Series or any of those DC superhero shows that we love so near and dear. This is kind of like a slapstick comedy, just fun for kids, for my daughter's 7 months now, but I'm sure when she's like 2 years old this would be like right up her alley, just like Beast Boy, Raven, and like Robin making fart jokes. Like, it's funny. Like, I get it. It's for younger kids, and that's fine. So judging it on that, like by that, it looks like it's gonna be fun. It's pretty much just, if you like the Teen Titans Go cartoon or have little ones that love the cartoon, you're definitely gonna want to take them to see this in the theaters, because it's pretty much just that. Again, like, if you're looking, this is not a cartoon where you're looking for like like a big, like a huge Brainiac story or a huge like Superman story that really invests into the emotional the motion of what it means to be a hero. This is just a fun 20-minute type cartoon for that younger audience, and that's awesome. They need stuff like that too. You're not gonna have your 5-year-old. I mean, you can. I know I will, but you know what I mean. It's easier for them to watch. It's just an easy, fun show. So, and I've watched several episodes. Again, I don't watch it religiously like every single episode, but I've watched several episodes, and it's definitely really funny, especially for what it is. And I totally get it. For the younger audience, they need stuff like that too. So I'll definitely check it out though, just because again I watch the show and passing a lot. If it's on and there's nothing else on, I'll keep it on just because it's pretty funny. Although I do like Justice League Action more. That's awesome, but again, that's kind of a little different. It's kind of the same, but it's not as like just comedy driven. I know when Teen Titans Go actually first came out, it was getting a lot of hate because people wanted it, because it's the same exact voice cast from the original Teen Titans, and people just wanted a continuation from that, which I would have liked more, and I'm sure a lot of you, like I just said, would have wanted more. But again, I totally get what they're trying to do for its completely different audience and stuff. Plus, doesn't matter, guys, we're getting Young Justice Season 3, and that's all that matters. That's coming out soon, and that's what I'm looking forward for. But not getting off topic onto that, I'll save that for another Variant Live in the future. Teen Titans Go, the movie, looks like it's going to be fun. If you like the cartoon, you're gonna like this movie. It just looks like a funny, like, superhero kid movie. What else could you ask for? It looks good for what it is. Moving on, though, last bit of news before I do some Q&As is Mark Strong, as you guys know, who he's in Kingsman. He played Sinestro in the Green Lantern movie that everyone loves so much, has just been cast as Dr. Savannah, or Savannah, however you want to say it, in the Shazam movie. So Mark Strong is now the villain in the Shazam movie, playing Dr. Savannah. So that's pretty cool, but it's funny because he was also in the Green Lantern movie playing Sinestro. And there's actually a quote of him talking about that, which I want to pull up for you guys. Let's see, because I can do that because we're live, and I can pull up that quote. Let's see. La 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 la. Here's a quote from Mark Strong himself about playing Dr. Savannah. I'm playing the evil bastard called Dr. Savannah. They are always the best characters to play, the most fun, said Strong. I was Sinestro in Green Lantern, which I thought was a rather good film, but it didn't do what they wanted it to do, so I feel like I've got unfinished business in the DC world. I played a pretty evil character in that, and he was meant to get even worse in the second one, but that never happened. That never happened. But I think I'm going to get a chance to do that with Shazam. I hope so. End quote. So that's pretty crazy. Like, I guess I don't know if he's just defending his character in Green Lantern because, he doesn't want to badmouth, the studio he's working for, DC or Warner Brothers. But, I mean, I think we could all agree that, like, the movie wasn't the best. As you guys know, especially a lot of older Variant videos, I used to make fun of that movie all the time. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But again, with that said, Mark Strong is a fantastic actor. You know, it's not his fault Green Lantern was a bad movie. So to see him in another DC movie wanting redemption, that's actually kind of cool. Because it's like, you know, he's just like, no, I want to be in a DC movie that's received well and the fans like. He didn't say that, but that's kind of what he's alluding to. What he's saying, he wants redemption for in the DC universe. And again, he's a fantastic actor. It's not his fault that Green Lantern didn't do well or wasn't a good movie, or us fans, the majority of us fans didn't like it. So him playing Dr. Sivana is a really cool thing. I'm curious to see how. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm curious to see where they go with that, because I know, like most people, I wanted to see Black Adam in this movie, but apparently, you know, The Rock isn't going to be in this movie. He wants to have a solo movie first, which I think is kind of weird. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's because The Rock is like such an A-list celebrity now that he's like, no. If I'm going to be Black Adam, I need my own solo franchise, and then I'll just appear in Shazam movies from there, but I need my own movies. Again, I'm totally like making that up. I don't know if that's what it is, but I mean, it's kind of weird that Black Adam would get his own movie. He's a fantastic character. I love Black Adam. He's an awesome villain. He's one of the coolest villains in the DC universe. But it's kind of weird. I think you guys would agree that he's getting his own movie when he should just be the villain in Shazam's movie. It's kind of like, you know, like getting a Batman movie for the first time ever, but instead of making Joker the main villain, you're just going to give him his own movie. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if he's the arch enemy of that hero, why would he not just star opposite of him in the hero's movie, and then maybe from there branch out if he's received well and get his own movie? I don't know. That's how I think they should have done it. But again, all final judgment until I see the Shazam movie and the Black Adam movie, because I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. Although I would imagine that could have been the best way to go, given DC's current track record of not having the best universe as of late. But again, I don't know what they're doing. I'll hold all final judgment until we see the movies. I just know it would have been really cool for the first Shazam movie to see him face off against Black Adam, because I mean, that's like his arch enemy. It's Black Adam and Shazam. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It's like Batman and Robin. See what I did there? They just go hand in hand. But yeah, The Rock or Dwayne Johnson is getting his Black Adam movie first, and apparently him or Jeff Johns, don't remember which one, or both, said he will not again be in the Shazam movie, which is unfortunate. But now we got Mark Strong as the main villain, Dr. Sivana, however you want to say it, tomato, in the playing opposite of Shazam in the DCEU Shazam movie. So I'm excited for that. You guys know I love Shazam. He's one of my favorite heroes. As of late, like my top 10 kind of switches with top 10 superheroes, but I feel like he's in my top 10 lately. I don't know. He's just such an interesting character. Him and Martian Manhunter, they're just so underrated. They're so dang powerful, but they're so underrated. So I have high hopes for Shazam, and I hope it's received really well and it's just done well, and I love it. So here's hoping. But that's it for the news today. I've rambled enough. Now I'm going to take some questions from you guys. I'm going to go to the live chat here on the YouTubes and take some questions from you guys. So start asking away, and I will pick ones that catch my eye. So start looking in here. Lazan, what? You went away? No, I was gonna answer your question. No, and it went away, and I can't find it. Dang it. Let's see. Catch Cold, what do you think? Oh no. Dang it, these comments are moving so fast. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Let's see if I can make this bigger. What do you think about the Black Widow movie? Dude, I am very excited for the Black Widow movie. I guess it's finally... I read that. I did read that. I forgot about that. That I guess it's finally happening. It's been in talks for the longest time. Joss Whedon wanted to do it, but Marvel's like, no. So then he went to DC, and they're letting him do Batgirl because he wanted to do a female lead superhero character for a movie. He wanted to do a female-led superhero movie. And now he's doing Batgirl. But anyway, Black Widow, yes, dude, Scarlett Johansson is fantastic as Black Widow. I mean, you could even argue without her being introduced in Avengers and then being in all the Marvel movies, we wouldn't have got Wonder Woman, because she was such a beloved character from the MCU franchise, and it's about time that they give her a solo movie, because I mean, Black Widow's awesome, and Scarlett Johansson plays her like awesome. So I am all kinds of excited for that. I can't wait for that. So Marvel, the MCU Phase 4, let's do this thing. All right, let's see. It's Strode TV. Are you watching Black Lightning tomorrow? I believe is what he asked or she asked. Of course I'm watching Black Lightning tomorrow. I believe Supergirl comes back tonight. Flash and Black Lightning. Well, Flash comes back tomorrow. Lightning premieres tomorrow. So of course I'm going to watch it. I'm very excited for the return of Flash and for the premiere of Black Lightning on next Monday's Variant Live. That will probably be one of the main topics that I talk about, is my thoughts on the Black Lightning pilot. So you guys could expect that next week for me to talk about lots of my thoughts on Black Lightning. And yeah, I'll be watching it, of course. I watch all the CW superhero shows. Well, I don't watch them all. I watch all the pilots to see if I'm going to continue watching them all, because as you guys know, I currently am not watching. I'm not watching Supergirl, and I'm not watching Arrow, just because it's like it just fell off. It stopped interesting, and without getting into it too much, I've told you guys before. I'm just like But I watch Flash and Legends and stuff religiously, so there's that. But I do watch Arrow and Supergirl when all of they have the massive crossovers, because you kind of have to, because it's basically they make it into like a movie. So that's cool. Let's see. Would you recommend Red Hood and the Outlaws or JLA Rebirth? Yes, I would. Read them. I definitely would recommend that. Red Hood is one of my favorite characters, so anything with Red Hood, I would say pretty much read. And JLA Rebirth, I would recommend that as well. Although if you're looking for a really good team book, which is not like a team book per se, but it has all the characters in it, is DC's Dark Knight's Metal. It has like almost every DC, not every DC character, but there's a lot of DC characters in there, and a lot of cameos from villains and other characters. So if you want just a book with a lot of characters in it right now and a really, really good read, DC Metal. It's a limited series, but you could start from issue 1, read all the tie-ins, fantastic read. Oh, and the new Justice League too. New Justice League is good too. It's got a new creative team, I believe, a month or two ago, but it's good. So Justice League as well. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna answer a few more questions. Big Beast 3705 says, "Do you like Doomsday Clock?" Yes, I love Doomsday Clock. It's 2 issues in. It's fantastic. I've talked about it several times on Variant Live before. I think I talked about the first 2 issues individually on 2 different episodes of Variant Live. It's very, very good. If you like Watchmen, you should definitely read this, because this is the sequel to Watchmen. It's done by Jeff Johns, DC God, and Gary Frank, another amazing artist, one of the best artists working in the business today. Sorry. Jeez, I had Chick-fil-A earlier, and for some reason it's giving me the hiccups. It's not working. It's not sitting with me well. But Gary Frank, one of the best artists, is drawing it, and it's very much done in the exact way the first Watchmen is done. It's done on the 9-panel grid. It's awesome, great story. And in the last issue, the DC was... No, I'm not going to say it. It's probably, I guess, spoilers. I'm not going to say it. Just read it. It's 2 issues in. Read it. It's very good. If you want to see the Watchmen universe collide with the DC universe, you need to read it. It's very, very good. Very, very good. Very, 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 very good. It's a lot of varies. All right, let's see. I'm gonna do 3 more questions. 3 more, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Seth Lay says, "The future of Static Shock." Man, you know what's funny? I didn't really read much Black Lightning as a kid or anything like that, or like follow the character that much. You know who I did follow a lot growing up? Static freaking Shock. Because I'm gonna admit, because of the cartoon. The cartoon series was awesome, amazing, but then that led me to go backwards and start reading some of the Milestone stuff from the comics. He was in for Milestone Comics, and then obviously he got absorbed into DC Comics, hence him getting a TV show and appearing in, like the Justice League cartoons of the 90s or the 2000s and stuff. So, dude, I love me some Static Shock. Apparently the Milestone universe is coming back to DC relatively soon. I don't know if it's later this year, beginning of next year, but apparently Jim Lee, Jeff Johns, Dan DiDio, all the heads of DC have been saying it's coming, it's coming. I mean, we're going to get Icon, we're going to get Static Shock, we're going to get a bunch of the, the loved characters from the Milestone universe, but I love Static Shock. Saying that, I actually wish that the Black Lightning live-action CW show was a Static Shock live-action CW show. I would have preferred them going that way, because I love Static Shock a lot. So, and I know more about the character than I do Black Lightning, so I would have been more attached to seeing a live-action Static Shock show, which I actually would assume a lot of you would too, because like me, you guys probably grew up on the cartoon and loved it, and even, like the comics in the 90s. So I would have preferred them going with Static Shock. I thought that would have been cool, and even having like the teenager high school aspect could have been cool. But I just want to see him freaking flying around on like a manhole cover in the city. I mean, Black Lightning could technically do that too. And who's to say, like, later on in the Black Lightning series, like they won't introduce Virgil, or AKA Static Shock, into the show. So they could do that, and then maybe that would spin off to another show. But That's just my 2 cents. I just know, like, if I was like CW exec, just out of pure selfishness, I'd be like, if you want an electric character? Okay, we're gonna do a Static Shock though, because the '90s cartoon was awesome, and I loved the comic as a kid, so we're doing Static. But no, I'm very curious to see if he'll appear later on in Black Lightning, and I'm just curious to see if Black Lightning, how that is. I hope it's good. Fingers crossed. Who doesn't want more good superhero TV shows? All right, I'm gonna answer 2 more questions. 2 more questions. Tech Dragon says, future of DCEU. Not really a question, but I think I know what you meant. You're asking me what do I think of the future of the DC extended universe. You know, they got a new head now. I guess one of their new heads is the guy who produced It and a lot of their scary movies for Warner Brothers and stuff. I mean, I'm hopeful, man. I'm hopeful. I mean, I'm optimistic because why? I mean, I just hope. I mean, I just want it to be good so bad that I'm just like, please, please, please. I mean, I know, you know, the consensus is a lot of people did not like Justice League. You know, obviously that's why it only lasted in theaters for like 2 months. Apparently it's going to be on digital release and Blu-ray at the end of this month. I mean, again, I enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of cool moments in it. Was it perfect? Not by any means. But again, I liked it. I don't see why it got as much hate as it did. I thought it was better than BVS. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on that, where they thought BVS was way better than Justice League. That's my personal 2 cents. But yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful, man. I hope if Shazam turns out really good, if they can get their crap. The problem with the DCU is this, I think. They just need a plan, and then they need to stick to it. They don't stick to a plan. They're like, I've even read interviews where they're very much just run and gun. They're like, oh, freaking James Cameron wants to do a Joker movie, a Riddler movie? Yeah, we're going to do that because he's a big name. Oh, freaking Tom Cruise wants to be like, I don't know, he wants to play... who does he want to play? He wants to play, I don't know, name a superhero. I'm blanking here. Wildcat? Sure. I don't know why Wildcat came. No, we'll go with Booster Gold. Tom Cruise wants to play Booster Gold? Sure, because he's Tom Cruise. Give him whatever he wants. We'll greenlit that. We say Tom Cruise is playing Booster Gold in a DCEU movie. Everyone's going to come see it because it's Tom Cruise. No, that's because I've been reading interviews that that's kind of how their higher ups and execs works, where if a big name's attached, if a big name approaches them and wants to do a movie, they'll let them do it because it's a big name. If that's true, no. But it's kind of, you can kind of see it like just with continuity issues between Suicide Squad, Justice League, and BVS, and like all in Wonder Woman, like there's continuity issues where you could see they're not keeping everything, like they don't have a bigger picture, like where Marvel like has like 5-year plans, 10-year plans. Like, I'm not saying you need can't talk, sorry. I'm not saying you need to copy Marvel or do the Marvel method. You know, what works for them is not necessarily going to work for DC. But what I think we could all agree on is you need a plan. Whatever that plan is, map it out for the next 5 years and say you're going to do this. Like, if your end goal is like Flashpoint, or your end goal is getting to Darkseid or the Anti-Monitor, and it's going to take like 5 movies to get there, okay, you're like, okay, our end goal is the DC universe fighting Darkseid, right? Okay, now structure your movies on how you're gonna get there. You know what I mean? Or you could even do it backwards. Like, you know, you could have totally just done a Justice League movie, like, which I guess is what they did. They are kind of doing it backwards. You could still do it backwards and then do spin-offs, you know, do a Justice League movie and then spin off to a Flash movie, an Aquaman movie, which is what they're doing. But you still need a plan to where even those individual movies are gonna go at the end. You can't just do things. You need an end goal. So, I mean, it's just like writing kind of 101, whether it's TV, like comic books, just writing in general. Stories need an end game. You can't just do things and, like, you know, hope it works out in the end. Because I know a lot of shows, comics, writing in general do that. But more often than not, that doesn't really work out the best. So, I think that's their biggest problem. I think the future could be bright if they set an end goal and they have, like, a vision of where they are going, what they're going to do. Like, where do you want Batman and Aquaman and Flash to meet in 5 years? You know, what do you want to do with them? Not just throw things out. So that's my 2 cents. You know, you guys know the DC universe is near and dear to my heart because Batman is what got me into comic books. So I, more than anyone, want these movies to be amazing. Just like you guys, I want to love, like, who wants to not like these movies? I don't want to not like these movies. I want to love these movies. These are characters I grew up with. I love, I'll always love. So I want these to be good. So I think that's my personal opinion. They just need a goal. They need keep their eye on the prize. They pick where they want to go, and then just do it. Kind of like Marvel. Again, not saying you have to do the same tone or the same thing they do, but Marvel, they're like, oh, what's our end goal? Infinity War, Thanos, the Gauntlet, Infinity Gauntlet. That's our end goal. DC needs their end goal, and then work towards it. Just go in that direction. But that's my little tangent for that. I went way off topic. Well, I didn't go off topic, but that was longer than I wanted it to be. But you guys let me vent a little bit. Okay, one last question, and then I'm done. Taylor Burns says, Venom movie, are you excited? Yes, I am excited, although I'm also disappointed at the same time. Again, I thought or think the Venom movie should have been within the MCU. Now, again, I know there's probably legal things going on there that they couldn't for X, Y, and Z reasons, but I think maybe they should have worked out a deal or tried to. I don't know, maybe they did, it didn't work. But I would have, all I know is I would have loved to see a Tom Hardy Venom, like, face off against Tom Holland Spider-Man. That would have been amazing. I would have wanted him in the MCU. Am I going to see it? Of course. I love Venom. Venom is one of my top 3 favorite Spider-Man villains. So, I mean, and Tom Hardy is awesome. It's kind of funny that he played Bane and now he's playing Venom. Speaking of funny, I thought it was hilarious when we got the first official look at Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. It's just really funny because it's literally just a picture of Tom Hardy. Like, he's just wearing a button down and like a bracelet. It's Tom Hardy. Like, he looks no different. It's like, it looked like he was just Tom Hardy going to, you know, shop at Target. Like, so it's just funny. Like, stuff like that is funny to me nowadays. We're like, oh my god, we got the first official logo or text font for like the new Venom movie or the Justice League movie, and it literally is just like, it just says Justice League. It's like, okay, why's everyone flipping out? Like, it's just the font. So I don't know. It's, again, that's why I didn't talk about it today. It's not really that big of a deal, just a picture of Tom Hardy. But as for the movie, I hope it's good. Again, like every superhero movie, I don't think any true comic book fan wishes for any of these movies to be bad. Because, you know, whether you like the characters or don't like the characters, a good movie is only going to help the industry as a whole. So I hope it's good. Plus, I love Venom. I love Tom Hardy. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. My only gripe is I wish it was in the MCU and we would see him face off against Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But hopefully the movie is good. I hope Venom looks awesome. It can't be any worse than Topher Grace, right? I can't. Spider-Man 3, that was a travesty. That was a train wreck. But that's that. Okay, with that said, guys, I'm going to get going, and I will see you guys later this week for more episodes of Variant. But until then, I'll see you next time when I talk about all things comics.